Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about classroom arrangement and what that means for the class, especially for topics relating to teacher-centered and learner-centered activities. Now I've written down some arrangements and I want to explain this a little bit more closely. So let's take a look at the first arrangement. As you can see, this is a more traditional arrangement where you have rows of students and you have the teacher, indicated with the acronym of T here, in the front. Now, obviously we can assume or get the impression that this is teacher-centered. So activities like presentation, maybe movie watching or DVD, or PowerPoint could be useful in this arrangement. This arrangement here is the circle. And we see that in Aboriginal communities a lot, especially with the healing circle, and the teachers outside that circle or in the circle. So all students are equal, and what I remember about doing the healing circle in class sometimes is that there's a lot of equality in that circle, and we show respect with someone who's holding the talking stick, and we all listen. We don't interrupt. So we show that respect to that person. And we go around the circle. Now, when one person is talking, it does take some time to go around the circle all at once. So there might be some time constraints there. And when we only have an hour or maybe 20 minutes, some students are allowed to not talk. And they might also feel that they're feeling pressured to talk if they are in this arrangement as well. So we have to be careful about using this arrangement in class. Okay, this is a third arrangement where we have a moon shape class where students are all kind of situated in a half moon looking at the teacher. Now, this promotes discussion, of course. But again, here, we might have a student who has an opinion over here, and this student over here has a different opinion. So they are looking at each other and they're making eye contact, which is good, but there might be some distance between these two, okay? And because it's only a half moon, we might not have a sense of maybe unity in the class. There might be some people who feel more closely related to their friends over here, and over here, they might be different, and they might be feeling somewhat decentralized. So I always feel that with this half moon, which is great for class and class discussion, the focus is not on the teacher so much, but also for the students to interact. But we also have to be careful that students are sharing equally, okay? Here is more corporate style of learning. You have the teacher at the head of the teacher or the table, and then you have students around this table. Right away, you feel like the authority of the teacher is at the top, and this is interesting because you know, it's kind of almost like a hierarchical way of showing authority to the students. This is interesting because I feel like when we have meetings, maybe with peer groups or small group settings, we can use this arrangement, but we have to emphasize that teacher isn't always the lead of this arrangement or the top person. And I always, when I do sit here, I want to make sure the students participate in discussion when they can. Okay. Next one is where students are allowed to talk freely and sit anywhere. So there's a more democratic way of sitting down and listening to the teacher. So the teacher can talk, you know, over to this person and walk over here. But then again, this is very decentralized, and it might not show so much community and build up towards interaction. Yes, there is freedom of choice, and students can sit where they want. Okay, last one is one of my favorites, is where we have desks right here. And people are sitting in groups of 4. So I like this arrangement because I believe in group discussion. However, one of the disadvantages of this arrangement is that you might have 4 people who are really great at ideas and creativity or great speakers, if you're teaching a language class or maybe education. And this is the powerful group, and over here is the shy group, and they all sit together, and they're not, interacting as much. So the teacher may have to spend more time to encourage them to talk, and then this group here might be feeling left out. So we have to make sure that there are sharing, like 2 strong members or 2 great students with 2 weak students here sitting together, and so they can help each other. Okay, now I have a question I want to talk about. Which arrangement allows the learner to talk the most? By looking at this arrangement, what arrangement allows the learner to speak the most? My first impression or my opinion would be this last one. Students can talk freely in their groups and to the teacher or across into the class. Another arrangement that allows the learner to speak is here, the half moon. They can talk to the teacher or next to each other. The next question I have asked the audience here is, which arrangement is the learner-centered? Okay, so we talk about learner-centered curriculum, but which one is learner-centered? So when we take a look at it, I think this would be learner-centered. Possibly this one, okay, and maybe this one. This would be for individual tasks where learners are doing their self-work here. But I would not say this is not learner-centered. There could be some debate there where students are learning individually in rows. And that could be so, yes, that's true. But again, they can't just turn around and talk because, attention is drawing to them towards the class or the teacher. Okay? And which arrangement is teacher-centered? Well, obviously this one, right here. This is interesting. This is the traditional way of knowing. And we think this is the right way of teaching a class, but this is teacher-centered. So all attention is going towards the teacher. Again, as I said, if you're doing tasks like DVD or PowerPoint, this is great in certain segments of the lesson, but we have to be careful that the teacher is not lecturing and presenting too much. Interaction is key to education. We need the learners to talk more, okay? So, here I think the most conducive arrangement would be this last one. If we are allowed to get into groups, or the half moon would be my favorite. However, we have to be sensitive to the Aboriginal community and also to the concerns of the Aboriginal communities that help us and allow us to teach their students. Now, as I said here, the Healing Circle is one way to bridge that gap with education. Now, if we have the Healing Circle, this is great. We can have mini circles. So, for example, if we don't want to have like 40 students around here, that would be too much. So we can have, circles like this. Okay, students sitting around the circles like this, talking. Okay. Okay. But this would be same as this. Okay. That's all for now for this lesson. If you have any more questions, please ask me directly or through my email. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.